Well, you might call today a last gasp of fall in the parks around the Denver metro area. There was some blue skies, but the changing leaves and the relatively gentle breeze at the visit to Sloan's Lake this morning certainly changed through the day. Now the cold is coming in. Thanks for joining us for 9 News at 5. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. People walking their dogs or walking to work this morning probably thought, oh, my hands are a little chilly. Maybe I need a sweater. Up in the mountains, they've already seen the snow. Loveland got hammered about noon. They are hoping for that end of October storm, and they're hoping that's enough to get them over the hump, allow them to open up for the first time this season.
Let's learn more. Weather Impact Team meteorologist Kathy Sabin tracking the forecast tonight. Tell us how it's looking.
Good afternoon, Kim and Tom. Finally, some beneficial moisture on the way to the state and a big drop in temperature. Windy and cooler today. We were in the low 80s yesterday. We topped out in the low 60s today. And look at the temperature spread. We're 54 in Denver. It's 81 in Lamar and 36 in Laramie. That's called forecasting fun. It's fun to try to predict what the temperatures are going to do when the wind and the storm all kind of come together over Colorado. But when the storm moves out, Denver goes under a freeze warning tomorrow night for lows in the lower 20s. Today, those winds have been very gusty to the west and south of us. So red flag warning criteria continuing this evening for gusts to 50 miles per hour and low relative humidity. That's the system rolling into northern Colorado as we see scattered light snow showers through Vail, Grand Junction, Gunnison, and Telluride. More moisture coming. Winter weather and travel advisories extended out for up to a foot of snow above 9,000 feet. This storm will impact you in Denver and along the Front Range with cold air coming in tonight. Hopefully some scattered rain showers that may mix with snow on Wednesday morning when you're headed to work and school. And then, of course, that hard freeze tomorrow night. The big story will be the heavy mountain snow. And we're calling for a weather impact day tomorrow. The timing and impact of the moisture and the temperature trend, that's just ahead.
The Highland Lakes fire burning near the Divide in Teller County is now 15% contained. It's burned about 166 acres. One home has been destroyed. The Teller County Sheriff's Office says that fire was human-caused. They're looking into criminal charges, but they haven't announced any arrests.
We have breaking news at 5 o'clock where passwords to Colorado's voting systems were inadvertently posted to the Secretary of State's website. Now, the passwords, known as BIOS passwords, were included on a spreadsheet on a hidden tab. Well, the news first came in an email from the Colorado Republican Party's vice chair. Users only had to select the unhide setting to find them. Those passwords are used to change computer settings. The Secretary of State's office says those passwords are one of two needed and that they can only be used with physical access to the voting system. Matt Crane with the Colorado Clerks Association told us that it is concerning that the passwords were available online, even if they were hidden. Well, coming up at 6 on Next with Kyle Clark, we're going to be speaking with the Secretary of State about how this could ever happen and what they're doing to prevent similar errors from happening in the future.
Today, a contractor pleaded guilty to a charge of felony theft. The Boulder County DA says Leona Scott stole more than $1 million from victims of the Marshall Fire. He entered into contracts with 4 separate property owners, took their money and said he would rebuild their homes, but Scott never finished the work. Investigators say the 63-year-old wasn't properly licensed to build homes in Boulder County. He'll be sentenced in December. An Edgewater police officer caught on camera berating and threatening suspects is out of work. 9 News Investigates confirmed today that Paul Perez quit last week.
Perez's treatment of people that he was arresting created problems for prosecutors in multiple criminal cases. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates broke the story in July. And Kevin, do we now know if there are any new allegations at the heart of this resignation?
Tom and Kim, at this point, it's clear that Perez's conduct in multiple cases was problematic. What's not clear right now is why he decided to step down.
I'm gonna blow your brains out if you move, you don't move!
That's one of the moments in this arrest that alarmed Jefferson County District Attorney Alexis King.
I've never seen a body-worn camera quite like that.
I will shoot you, man!
The footage captured Edgewater police officer Paul Perez's treatment of a man who fired a gun while trying to steal cars.
We'll start with 23 CR 3.
Treatment that led prosecutors to agree to a plea deal.
What's your first name?
9 News Investigates found that wasn't the first time what Perez said, and what he did with his gun caused trouble.
Start reaching in your pocket.
For incidents like this.
I'll shoot you where you stand, partner.
Edgewater hired him a few months later. After we first reported on Perez's treatment of suspects, the Jeffco DA sent this letter to defense attorneys in all of his cases.
What's your name?
Including this one from 2022 outside the Target store in Edgewater. That man gave Perez a false name,
Well, you already lied, so stand up.
and the officer decided to take him into custody. In the struggle that followed, Perez's camera flew off,
Get your hands behind your back. Stop resisting.
catching him repeatedly punching the man in the head. Last Thursday, Perez resigned from the Edgewater Police Department without explanation. We left a message for Perez's attorney this morning. We have not heard back. We also haven't heard from the Edgewater Police Chief today. As of now, he remains certified as a police officer by the state of Colorado. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Thanks, Kevin. We know you'll stay on top of this and give us updates in the future. Today, Colorado Springs police announced the arrest of a 31-year-old man in connection to a shooting outside a youth football game. Antivius Crowder is facing a murder charge. Police believe he shot and killed a 29-year-old man earlier this month in a parking lot outside Atlas Middle School, where kids' football games were going on. Colorado Springs police told us at that time the two men were not coaches and did not have kids in the league. Pikes Peak Pop Warner said it will add additional measures to protect its players in the future.
The number of people visiting McDonald's went down significantly in the days following the E. coli outbreak's announcement. That information came out today while company leaders were telling investors that they believe the worst of the outbreak is now behind them. So far, we know of 75 people directly affected by the outbreak. Health Department officials across more than a dozen states continue to conduct interviews to see if any more people were affected. We do know one victim died, and another, a teenager named Camberlyn Bowler, developed kidney failure and is being treated at Children's Hospital in Aurora.
It's been definitely a roller coaster from the time that we've gotten here till now. Every day has been new tests or new things that pop up, or it's basically watching her body just not work.
McDonald's says that outbreak was caused by the slivered onions and quarter pounders. Those onions came from Taylor Farms in Colorado Springs. They've stopped using the onions. Company officials said today they may start advertising about the safety of their food, trying to get people to come back in the door.